Hello, my name is Rebecca and this is my persuasive speech. Have you ever sat in class confused or dazed, feeling like your teacher was talking at you and not to you? Well, if so, homeschooling probably would have been best for you. Homeschool is an age-old traditional educational practice that a decade ago appeared to be cutting edge and alternative, but is now becoming mainstream in the United States. There are about 2.3 million homeschooling educated students in the United States. This is up from the previous estimation that there were about 2 million children in the grades kindergarten to 12. It appears that the homeschool population is continuing to grow at an estimated 2 to 8% over the past few years. Now, as you probably figured out by now, my position on homeschooling is pro. I am pro homeschooling. The need to me for homeschool is education is essential for our children and their future. At the most basic level, education is important because it gives people the baseline skills needed to survive as adults in the world. These skills include basic literacy and numeracy, as well as the ability to communicate, complete tasks, and work well with others. We need to understand that education is not only fundamental, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Literacy is defined as knowing how to read and write. Education is to be able to reason, to use your ability to read and write to your benefit, to gain your spectrum of knowledge by trying to search deeper into the literate knowledge imparted into you. Families engaged in homeschooling education are not dependent on public, tax-funded resources for their children's education. The finances associated with their homeschooling likely represents over $27 billion that American taxpayers do not have to spend annually since these children are not in public schools. Now, my niece and my nephew, they were in public schools from the age from kindergarten to 6th grade. Now, while they were in public schools, they struggled academically. They failed, and they didn't get the time that they needed to comprehend what was being taught. This school year, their mother enrolled them in homeschooling, and their grades have improved tremendously, showing that one-on-one time with the teacher to break down to them so that they understand what is being taught is essential. Now, the satisfaction of homeschooling is not only best for the parent, but for the youth also. And the most common reasons given for homeschooling are the following. You can customize or individualize the curriculum and learning environment for each child. You accomplish more academically than in schools. You use logical approaches other than those typical in institutional schools. You enhance family relationships between children, parents, and among siblings. You provide guided and reasoned social interactions with youthful peers and adults. You can provide a safer environment for children and youth because of the physical violence, drugs and alcohol, psychological abuse, racism, and improper and unhealthy sexuality associated with institutional schools. The home educated student typically scores 15 to 30 percentile points above public school students on standardized academic achievement tests. A 2015 study found that black homeschool students scored 23 to 42 percentile points above Black public students. Homeschool students score above average on achievement tests regardless of their parents' level of formal education or their family's household income. Whether homeschool parents were ever certified teachers is not related to their child's academic achievement. Degree of state control and regulation of homeschooling is not related to academic achievement. Home-educated students typically score above average on SAT and ACT tests that colleges consider for admission. Colleges are increasingly actively recruiting homeschool students. Homeschooling is doing well, typically above average, on measures of social, emotional, and psychological development. Research measures include peer interaction, self-concept, leadership skills, family cohesion, participation in community service, and self-esteem. Homeschool students are regularly engaged in social and educational activities outside their homes and with people other than nuclear family members. They are commonly involved in activities such as field trips, scouting, political drives, church ministries, sports teams, and community volunteer work. Adults who were home educated are politically savvy, more savvy than people who are educated in public schools. Now, back to my niece and my nephew, when they were in public schools, they did struggle a bit with making friends and behaving appropriately in school. And I can say that since being homeschooled, they have been a lot more disciplined and they're learning what is socially appropriate. Now, my visualization for homeschooling is that if we implement or change the mindset of some people, we can fund more self-schooling programs and awareness. And what we need to do to get this going is that we spread the word about homeschooling and the benefits. We show what the benefits are for homeschooling versus the traditional homeschooling. Thank you. Bye.